There are many reasons why you would want to clone a website, but reality is that it's not as easy as it sounds. Before starting using AI tools, I used to be a no-code developer, and I would use websites day in and day out as inspirations for the designs that I would build for my clients. But that takes time and effort, and it still requires you to have some design knowledge to be able to achieve what you're trying to achieve. Nowadays, AI software development tools like Replit, agents, and Visito allow you to just provide a link and the system created for you. Today, I will show you how do they compare when it comes to cloning websites. And I will also show you some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way to be able to get the most out of these AI software development tools. We're going to talk about how to prompt the system. What do you need to provide to the system in order for it to clone a website? What is the difference between both systems and how perhaps you can get the best out of these systems in terms of the output that you receive from them? This is not a comprehensive tutorial for either tool. Either have already created some of them or they will be coming relatively soon. And also, this is not encouraging you to go and rip off some other website on design. I will leave that up to you whether or not that is the best way to go about it. With that being said, before we continue, if you like this video, please consider liking it. It helps me reach more people as I continue posting more content and the algorithm picks up my videos also. If you like the content that I put out, please consider subscribing. I will be putting out a lot of content and posting daily nowadays, and I'm trying to put out the best contents I can so you can get the most out of these videos and you can learn how to prompt these tools. With that being said, let's jump into the editors. Before we continue, I just want to give you a little bit of the background of what these companies are. Number one, you have Replit Agents, which is owned by Replit, of course. And this is a hosting company, really popular. They have many big clients out there. Well, actually, both companies have big clients out there that host their websites with them. Now, on this side, you have V0, and this company is created by Vercel. And again, big hosting companies. Now, some of the biggest difference between these two is number one, they're big companies. Number two, their approach. So Replit Agent is going to be a type of technology that will create everything for you without much prompting. Now, where V0, you have a little bit more control over the design process, but it takes more time and it takes more trial and error. So those two are some of the biggest differences. And with Replit, you will have more integrations that you can create, like API integrations with Vercel, V0. It's going to be a little bit more challenging to get that done out of the box with the AI. At least in my experience, that has been the case. Others might have different experiences. So those are some things to take into consideration. So if you are cloning something like HubSpot and you need a CRM with a robust number of integrations, probably want to go with Replit agents rather than V0. But if you just want the design aspect and you want a little bit more control, then you probably want to go with V0 rather than Replit agents. In reality, they are pretty close to each other when it comes to design, so you probably won't see much of a difference. But we're going to see exactly how it goes and how we're able to achieve certain things in both of these systems. You will be the judge of whether or not you should go with one versus the other. All right, so here we are in V0. We also have a workspace for Replit agents, and we're going to be switching back and forth as the system are building the clones that we're going to build. Initially, I thought that we will build an Airbnb clone. I changed my mind. We're going to build 3 different clones to give fair opportunities to both systems and see exactly what we can accomplish. So we're going to go on Notion because I have prepared a relatively simple prompt. I don't want to give it too many specifications. I wanted to use exactly what the website offers and what the website has. And we're going to add just the color palette there to that prompt. We're going to copy this prompt and we're going to paste it into both systems. And the clone reads as follows. We're going to create a clone of the Airbnb site using the following website. Follow the same design, color palettes, and patterns they use in the website. Additionally, make sure you're adding images from the internet to fill the image placeholders. Lastly, create a few prototypes to display in the homepage, properties I should say. We're going to see what V0 does. And while that is doing that, we're going to go to Replit agents. We're going to paste the exact same prompt and we're going to start building. And we're going to see what they do, which one is faster, which one create a better first version, and we will see. So V0 is already working on it. It's already building. We're going to go back to Replit agent. Replit agent will give me a summary and ask me to proceed. It will also suggest some features as needed. We will see what those features are, but we want to compare apples to apples. So we're not going to spend that much time considering any other additional features. So would you like any of the additional features? Add user authentication. That would make a whole lot of sense, especially given the fact that Replit actually built the database internally, so we don't have to worry about using a third-party tool like Supabase to host the database. And it also recommends implementing the booking system, some property search filter, or add a host dashboard. And we're not going to do any of that because the point here is not to build Airbnb clone to be used, but more to show you what it can be done. So I'm going to stop wasting time and let it go. One cool thing that you should know about Replit agents is that up here, it tells you exactly the cost of what you had done so far. As a reminder, you get $25 to $50 credit with Replit that you use for these clones that are included in the monthly price. So that's quite nice to know exactly how much you are spending there. We want to go back to V0 and we're going to open this in a new tab. We're going to see what it looks like and we're going to compare one to the other. Okay, it's a little bit different. Oh, not that one. So this area is definitely different. And it only has properties and nothing is clickable. As you can see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell exactly how it is. Yeah, it's not exactly like the Airbnb site. Please go back to the site and redo it. All right, I'm going to ask to redo that because that's definitely what we needed to do. And before I do that, I will copy this. I want to show you something. So I had run this before just to make sure that it works. It actually did a much better job. And just to show you, it was the exact same prompt that I used. Perhaps not exactly the same because I didn't talk about the color palettes. But this is a big difference. And I will say that we continue working with this one, given the fact that they were both produced with similar prompts. And we just work with this one and go from there. In this case, what I'm going to do is I am going to add please add the property type filters as shown on Airbnb. Let's make sure. Yep, airbnb.com. and now it took the screenshot. The first time it didn't took a screenshot, and that's definitely should not have happened, but we'll see. Replit agents, this is what we have so far. We're going to open this in a new tab, just like we did with V0, so we can have a fairly good comparison. Alright, this looks solid to me. Again, there is no clicking, but there is actually a calendar that comes up. Yeah, there is none. Okay. Alright. And that's fair, to be honest with you. Oh, wait. Oh, this is insane. Let's refresh this page. Actually, I'm going to reopen it. Alright, so this is actually the page that was created by V0, and it looks hopefully a lot like the one that we have. We're going to prompt it again and face the search bar and place it in the correct spot, just like in Airbnb.com. Also, make sure when I click check-in and check-out and check-out date widgets, it opens a calendar just like in Airbnb. Alright, let's see how it does. This is looking amazing. Alright, what are we missing here? We're going to open its own Airbnb. Alright, so initial reactions is Airbnb your home. And let me mention, so for doing that, it cost me 25 cents, relatively inexpensive given the fact that you are using a software application to create a website like this, which would cost way more than 25 cents if you were to hire a developer. Okay. There is something that... Okay, so I see what it is. So this one is line, okay. Create 20 more properties. Add a wish list feature for the properties. What else are we missing? I don't even know what to ask now. And add a menu for stays and experiences at the header. Let's see how it does. Alright, oof. That's rough. Okay, so we're going to use the point and do... This is going to be challenging. Okay, move this to a row below. Alright, so we want this in its own row. We don't want it there because it doesn't fit, it doesn't make sense. See how Replit is doing. Are you still thinking? In terms of speed, definitely V0 got the prize. They are doing really good, going really fast. And in terms of design, if I go only with the design that I did initially, then definitely it's looking, this one's looking better. Alright, make sure elements are not on top each other. The property type of filter is on top of the filter menu option. Alright, we're going to fix that. And while it's doing that, we're going to go back to Replit agent. These changes, there are changes you can review. Alright, I think it's looking better. We're going to again open it. And see what we got so far. Okay, I'm liking this. Oh, I can... Still, it looks a little bit off when we compare that to what we have here. I think it leaves a lot to be desired. And we're going to close that one. Okay, and let's see. Actually, this element 75% of the, let's be a little bit more specific. I don't think it understood what we wanted to do. But like I mentioned before, I think in this case, definitely V0 got the edge. And this is just quick. Okay, yeah, now it's doing. And we can make the filters work. Let's see if it get, yeah, okay. So we got this. Alright, it didn't get that, but that's fine. It did exactly what I asked for it to do. Alright, since we have learned what to do and what not to do, we're going to close this. I'm going to close this, and the next one will be dribble. So we're going to take dribble from here. We're going to replace this. Come on. We're going to take this prompt and we're going to go back into our systems, start with a brand new slate. I'm going to stop this, new repo, back to our agent, and we're going to paste our, we're going to take the screenshot, sure. Let's see if we improve the quality. We're going to open here and we're going to send it. Let's see how it does. I have to say, in my experience, Replit has been really amazing when it comes to building software. I have worked on rebuilding websites using Replit, and I have had great experiences. Granted, not cloning softwares or websites, but more prompting it to give me something that I would be proud of, and it did. So I'm surprised that in our first try to clone Airbnb, it didn't work out as expected. But we will see. We will see how it does now. All right, so still thinking. Getting a screenshot, so that's hopefully that provides more insights to the software. So we will see what happens. Let's go back to V0 and see. Okay, doesn't look good at all. I think it missed the mark. That's just initial reaction, right? But again, looking at it, it didn't. Dribble.com clone visit. Let's see if it takes the screenshot now. All right, now it took the screenshot. That's odd. I would think that the first time it would have done it, but it didn't. I don't know. Again, it's going to offer quite a few suggestions. We are not going to take them. We're just going to build the initial prototype, trying to compare more apples to apples than anything else. Even though I might be giving V0 a little edge over Dribble. Oof, that scared me. I thought that was exactly the same. I was like, wow, it really got good. Still working. Might be. It might be that good, but we will see. I have to say that Replit is quite slow because it's creating animations and designing the database and everything else, while V0 is just working on the front end, making sure that everything is set up good to go, but there's no back end. So that's the big difference between one and the other. So take it for whatever it's worth. I'm not saying that make it one better than the other, but depending on your use case, right? All right, so it didn't add any images, so I will go back and I will be like, I can see the images. Please add images from a reliable source. Let's see what happens. Other than that, let's see. Okay, so took that. The page is odd. This drop down is not the same height as this, and that's easily feasible, right? But it's odd. This button seems to be a little bit misplaced, not as tall. It also definitely doesn't look anything like this. Yeah, not really. Don't like it. Let's see how this one did. This is actually much better. I like this much better. Ooh, you got that, huh? Let's see. Yeah, it's not something that is available here, but it's also something that V0 didn't add. Let's go back. What we're going to do is we are going to ask. Okay. So we're going to ask to match the font. The size and the weight. Let's close this. Also on the listing cards should have a bookmark and a bookmark and a like. Build those features. Now, given the fact that every time you prompt the agent, it charges you 25 cents, you might want to include as much as possible. Of course, reasonable. You don't want the agent to go crazy and not do what you want it to do, but you want to be reasonable, but you also don't want to spend a lot of money for nothing. Also, when I click on the listing image, a pop-up should come with the post. I'm going to copy this. I will try this also in V0. Alright, so it didn't fix the image issue. Alright, so it's trying to pull images from Dribble and that's not working. I will ask to use pesos as the image API provider. So let's see how it does. I'm losing hope with V0 for this specific one. We'll see, perhaps it can do it. But I am not liking what I see. I actually Replit, and if that's the case, then we will be tied 1-1. Alright, we're not going to do that. I don't want to set up the API key. So we're going to just put in the prompt that we added to Replit and see how it does. This one is still building. Like I mentioned before, it took a screenshot. Okay. Actually, really nice. Increase the height of this just to match, but not bad actually. Oh, and the number changed. It's actually going into the database. That's good. Let's see when I click. Okay, came up. Let's see this one. Alright, so it's not showing that I liked it. And that's not working, but yeah, it's not exactly like Dribble, but it's a good proof of concept. I think that's actually a good start. And for number 2, this didn't even work. Scratch that. For Dribble, I would say the winner was Replit agents. Perhaps the first one V0 won it because, well, no, on the first try, that's the one that I liked. So, yeah, the Airbnb one, I will give it to. I will give it to V0 because that's actually the nicer one. Really nice looking design. We just want to make sure that we get on to number 3, which is Webflow. We're going to see this will be the tiebreaker. Let's delete this. We're going to add the Webflow website, and we're going to actually delete this. Just trying to see what works better. We're going to copy the prompt, return to V0, create a new chat, put in the prompt, Send it. I'm going to go back to Replit, and we're going to paste the prompt. I'm going to take the screenshot, and I think that taking that screenshot actually did really good for Replit to be able to clone it. I'm going to open this so it's easy to compare. I'm going to come back to V0 because I expect it to be done relatively soon. So we will see still writing code. Now, what I would like to ask you is, what do you think so far? How could we have improved the process? We got an error. So we're going to try to fix it. How could we have improved the process, like in your opinion, in your experience? I know I'm not perfect. I'm still working on best practices. But what would you have done to improve the process? I'm curious to know, so please let me know down in the comments below. I always open to suggestions and understanding the best ways to go about it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I want to learn from you. With that being said, we're going to go back to Replit, and we're going to approve only the initial prototype, and we don't want to build anything else. So we're going to have it run, and hopefully we can get a decent prototype. This will be an interesting one. Let's go back to V0 because I want to see if it took a screenshot. Oh, it didn't take a screenshot. And it doesn't even know what Webflow is. This is insane. Site. Redo it. Yeah, webflow.com. Let's see if it takes a screenshot now. This is a little bit irritating that it's not doing exactly what I am asking it to do. Let's look at the prompt. Alright, so I think I will want to redo this without the color palette comment. We will see. Alright, Replit agent is still working. We're going to go back to V0 and see how it's doing. Now it's rewriting the code, writing new folders, new pages within those folders. Okay. It's detecting potential issues, so it's solving the issues before it even tells me about it. That's truly amazing. I think from here, I think the next video that I want to do is Lovable versus Replit agents. I think that's a battle worth exploring, and perhaps Replit agents against bots. I think that would be great. And I like this. I actually do like it a lot. So what I will ask is, I'm going to use the pointer. Add 32 pixels padding. Let's see how it does. Alright, Replit is still thinking, still working. We're going to close this page because it was taken down. Alright, still not quite there, but bad. So we're going to add the video there.
and we're going to see how it does. Replit agent this time is taking its time. It's really thinking about it, and it's running into issues. All right, so I added that. We're actually no, actually. We can do this. We can always take this, upload it, and at this point I'm just trying to, because I know it's not going to do the screenshot right, so we want to make sure that we're actually able to continue prompting. And that's one of the best things that I have done is reviewing my instructions. So it has done all of this. It did the database, configured the application. I think it's coming to an end, but we will see in a moment. And like I have mentioned multiple times, they both have their own use cases. Okay, so that's Jason 14. Actually, I was in the wrong site. Alright, I cannot even see the size. The line height, Okay, so Visual Sans size 16. So it's just a different font. We're going to see it here. I guess not. We're going to open it. We're going to go back to V0. Still working. I don't want to keep you here waiting, but this is what we have so far. We even added the video here. Granted, the video is oversized, and we got features. We can even go back and say add the logos from online sources, and we can see whether or not those logos are imported or no. I'm just giving a little bit more time to the Replit agent to give me something. It's not looking like it's working appropriately. So I say didn't pull the images. It's okay. Thing is that while it's hard for me to say, hey, yeah, definitely this one was won by V0, reality is this is the only one that I got back. I think they both did a great job. V0 was able to deliver on this last one, and I'm wondering what I would have gotten out of Replit if it would have delivered anything, but it didn't. I guess we will never know because I'm not going to prompt it again. But both of them did a decent job when asked to build these websites, and I have to say that they both have their own use cases and that they both have their place for the future of software development.